Hey everyone, it's Yudia. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing part 2 of my August planner update. In part 1, I did a flip through and talked about the struggles I've been having these past 6 months, not just with my channel, but in consistently using my planner. And today we'll talk about why I'm gonna change and what those changes are. And that's where we are. So this is hard for me to write on here, and I hate it. So I guess to make it right smack in the middle, I would do that. And I took too much because I'm not the greatest with estimation on how many pages I need to pull. But nope. Part of it is this little thingy. Well, I got this bookmark thing from Indonesia. Was it Korea or Indonesia? I think from like Daiso or something. It's cute. Okay, I think that's good. See, it makes it flat. But that was a whole lot of time. Anywho, this is my brain dump of, I did this last night, of what I want to see and what I want to start doing, because one, in preparation for the journey planner layouts, but also what I want to focus on so that I'm more intentional with my time and with my reflections, and let it be a transformative experience, a transformative, prosperous journey. Okay? Anyway, where was I? I had to press pause because my alarm went off to tell me that I had to go for my morning walk. This is all related to this. But yes, I set my alarm as I said I would do, because that would be the only way to stop me from like going overtime and not honoring my time block. So I implemented that last night. I put several alarms on my phone, and the one that was for 6 a.m. walk in the morning went off. So I had to pause my recording and went for my walk. It was like a 45-minute walk. It was nice. I was listening to this epic narrative podcast. The person doing it is Bob Switzer, Switzer, called the Epic Narrative Podcast. He is hilarious, and I've just been binging listening to his podcast because he's basically a great, funny storyteller, and he's going through the Bible. Right now, he's starting off his whole thing with Saul and David, and he goes deep. Like, I think he's in there for, he just in episode 20, and he just said, like, okay, this whole story about David's life is gonna take the whole year. He has like 54 episodes planned, so I'm super excited. So I listened to that during my walk. It gets me up in the morning, to be honest. Like when I'm trying to wake up at 4:30, I just put the podcast on in my ears while I do my morning routine, and it's just like fun story time, learning about scripture and the story, but also God's heart through the perspective of the kingdom, which is Jesus. Anyways, I'm all on a tangent that is not related to this, but actually preaching. So we shall get back to this. This is bothering the crap out of me right now. So I am going to put this here so I could have it flat. I actually used the back pages where I did my Tombow swatches. I'm like, oh, that's a good place to write notes and brain dump ideas. So I did that last night. Let me drink my coffee. Okay, so another thing, part of my time blocking. So this, again, this whole video is a ramble, but part of the time blocking is getting into the routine that I want. And so after my walk, I put another alarm to like take Bailey potty, give her breakfast and stuff. And so I also made myself my breakfast. And so this is kefir. If I'm pretty sure y'all know what kefir is, but if you don't, it's basically like yogurt, but more probiotics and less sugar. And so it's more watery. And then I just put strawberries, blueberries, and granola from Whole Foods. I like this brand. It's like all farmers. I think farmers we know. I have to get the bag, but anyways, it's yummy. So I made myself that. I'll try not to, I'm going to take a bite of it, but I'll try not to make too much noises. Okay, we're back. That was a good bite. Okay, time blocking. So time blocking I want to do in the dailies, because in the journey planner, it's like the Hobonichi, where there's a time, like I think it starts at 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9, blah, 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 blah. I think all the way down to midnight, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. I think it's 9, 10, if it's 12. I don't know. The video that I have and the screenshots that I took of the journey planner isn't the greatest. But the point is, doesn't matter. It goes all the way down. I think it's midnight or like 10 o'clock or something like that. Pretty late, which is fine. But it goes all the way down. And then, so I want to mimic that again. Time blocking has been a struggle for me. I don't want to go into that rant again, but it is very helpful to be productive. So I'm learning. So I want to implement that here so that I could get used to it in the journey planner next year. Then I saw this YouTube channel from a YouTuber named Zen. Yeah, I think that's her thing. Zen Budgets. I'll post the video in the cards at the top right hand corner of this post if you want to take a listen to her finance tracker that she uses in her Hobonichi weeks, I think. No, that's this. Okay, my brain, I need more coffee. Hold on. Oh my gosh. How did I get from time blocking to finance? I don't know, but that's my brain. I don't think I've ever been diagnosed with anything, but I have a feeling I have some clinical things going on in my brain, but oh well, I don't need to label it. Okay, time blocking. That's what we're talking about, Yudia. Okay, so categories. I'll still post this video. This person, I forgot her name, but I'll post it on my video so you could refer to it. She actually does time blocking on Google Calendar, so digitally, and it's really cool. You should watch her video. She basically categorizes. Normally people, even me, we have multiple calendars on Google that says, okay, this calendar is for Kezia, this calendar is for Bailey, my dog. So anytime we have a doggy vet appointment, it'll be purple. If I have a doggy vet if I have Kezia's school stuff, it's gonna be pink, or like different calendars on Google based on people, person, family, those types of categories. And that's nice, but is it really helping our brain or my brain? I think she has ADHD, so she's saying it's not really helping her brain, which I guess I have it too. Anyways, to figure out what it is that needs to be prioritized and visually see and be okay with moving things around as needed, right? There's certain things that you can't move, and there's certain things that it's, we can. It's not a big deal if it doesn't happen today. So that's what she talks about. And this is what it is. So A, B, C, D, E, F. So kind of like grade school. And A stands for appointments. So again, anything that's solid or inflexible events. So doctor's appointments, meetings, let's say at work, things that if you do change is going to inconvenience a whole bunch of people or a person. So you technically want to work around that and not move it. So those, excuse me, I was going to burp. Appointment, solid, inflexible events. So I figured I'm going to use, something bright that pops up. So I use Tombow 723, the pink color. I think this one. Then she talks about a category of bottlenecks, things that other tasks or events depend on. So for example, filming would be a bottleneck. If I don't film or if I don't do my weekly plan with me, more so the planning itself and not the video. But if I don't plan for the week, then I will be lost the rest of, the week, and it's just going to be chaos. So everything depends on me planning for my week or planning for tomorrow. If I don't, like what's happening to me right now, that's why my life is a chaos, or I feel it is, and it's stressful, and why I'm doing all these changes. So I don't set that time to plan for tomorrow on my dailies, and nobody's gonna die, you know what I mean? The day is not gonna go crazy. Well, the day is gonna go crazy, but it's not the worst thing, right? So, but if I don't do it, it's not a great idea, right? It's gonna back up everything else. Category C is critical. So these are, if you look at the important quadrant or priority quadrant, is similar to that, but it's basically things that are important but not urgent and nothing else is dependent upon it. It doesn't hold up anything. And so for me, it's my walk, right? It'd be my quiet time. It would be maybe a nap, for example, like things that's critical for you to function, critical for your day. It's important to you, but it doesn't really, nothing else is dependent on it, So if somebody, for example, have the goal to learn calligraphy, for example, then you could just do that. That's critical for you. So it's important. It's not urgent. It doesn't impact anybody else. Doesn't impact your job or next steps, but it's a critical thing for you, for your growth, for your goals. And so so that's critical. Daily routine is self-evident, like self-explanatory. AM, PM routines, maybe dog stuff, pet care. For me, that's, doing, Bailey's breakfast, dinner, and putting her eye drops, all the things, like the routine things, which I haven't been the greatest at, right? I have good intentions, but I'm not actually time blocking that to be like, this is when you do this. Like her routine in the morning should be after going potty and then eating, getting her eye drops, and Aquaphor on her nose so it's not dry. That's in the morning. And then her nighttime routine, right before I go to bed, I take her out potty, but she needs to get her teeth brushed, clean up her muzzle, whatever. Like things that, and if I link those things together, then I'd probably be more consistent in taking care of her. So those are like the routine stuff, and you won't repeat it the next day. You can't move it to the next day, right? Because you just have to do it every day. So if it doesn't happen, it just doesn't happen. So that's daily routines. And then she has F, which is flexible ideals. So you could put in things. Her example in her YouTube video for this was like putting on makeup would be a flexible ideal. Like, when would she want to do that, if she ever gets to do that on a routine basis, right? Or talking to her friend, calling her friend. She's gonna set aside time, but maybe if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. She could move it whenever. Also, like vacuuming, for example, I want to vacuum Bailey's bed on a weekly basis or even more frequently so it doesn't stink her up, if that makes sense. But yeah, so that would be ideal if I could do that routinely, whatever frequency I want to do. But if that doesn't happen, so what? Like, whatever. So those are flexible ideals. So, do I know what this is gonna look like or how I'm gonna do this on the dailies? As of right now, no, not yet. But when I do my daily, when I set it up for today, because the last daily entry I did was for Monday this week, and I don't know what's going on today, but when I do set up today, I'm going to try to implement this and figure it out. So I will take y'all along for the ride. Then for meal planning tracking, this is another thing that has journey planner associated to it. So as I explained, she has a whole thing for every week, monthly planning in the journey planner, weekly, monthly planning. So what I want to do is how I need to figure out how I could incorporate it into my weekly dashboard that y'all see on this. Like, how do I incorporate it here? I need to starting this week, so you will see that. Again, not sure what it'll look like, but you will be along for the ride. Included in the journey planner is a place where you log, breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner. But the way I want to use that is I track what I eat during that time for those things. So for example, if I had breakfast today, I had my kefir strawberry with blueberry thing, I'll put that there. If I don't have breakfast that day and just have my coffee, then I'll just put coffee, right? So that will give me an idea of my intake. I'm not counting calories, none of that. What am I eating? Then she also has a section for meal prep. I don't meal prep, and I don't plan to use that for meal prepping, but I do plan for dinners. So it helps with my grocery shopping. So if ideally, or how I'd want to use this is it's basically this, which I already have. So I'm just going to incorporate that as this, right? Dinners Monday through Saturday. What am I thinking we're going to do, right? And so that would be filled out. And if the reality of that dinner on a Monday changes, like let's say if I plan for steak and salad on a Wednesday, and Wednesday we ended up just heating up pizza because I ain't got time. Pizza's going there, but this will stay as steak and salad. I hope that makes sense. She also has water intake in her meal planning thing. And so she has 8 of these like water droplets. And so my sister and I was brainstorming and we did the math of how I want to do it starting now so that we could implement it. So technically the goal is 64 ounces a day of water would be the best thing. I have a Yeti that's 26 ounces. So that would basically be about 3 Yetis of water would meet that goal, a little bit over. I think it's like 3 times 26, like 78. So how would I draw it? So technically, we could say each water droplet's about 9 to 10 ounces. So if I drink 1 full Yeti, then I would fill it like 1.5 droplets in my planner in that thing. If I drink, so every time, so then if I drink 2 times, like 2 Yetis full of water, so I would then cover up the next half and fill up another hole. So at the end of the day, if I did 3 of them, then the whole 8 droplets in the meal tracker for the water would be filled out. Then she also has in the journey planner an exercise icon. I think they're weights. For me, I'm tracking walk. I'm not even tracking anything else other than walking. And speaking of which, I did do a walk, my 6 a.m. walk. So let me put that in there. What time is it? What day? Today's 21st. I walked. Yay me. Okay. Then, and I don't know if I explained it in the video last time, but I'm not even doing steps. No, I explained it earlier today when I did the habit tracker, so I'm not going to go on that tangent again. Vitamins. She has this, so if you have vitamins and stuff, which for me, I take seed probiotics, so I do that in the morning, and also, basically that. Oh, and then the Activate You, like powder, that's very good. I like it. But I do that in the morning. And then she has weight on there. I think she removed the scale icon in the 2025 journey planner, but there's still space to write something. You could either write your steps or you could write your weight or both. There's plenty of space in her layout. So I'm just putting a question mark there to see if I actually want to weigh myself every day and see where we go or not. Let me take a bite of my breakfast. Okay. And then she has a grocery list. And I put here 15 rows, 9 columns. Why? Because I want to mimic that space in my weekly dashboard. So I could see, okay, that is not enough for me. I need to figure out if I need to split it in 2 because I have a lot of stuff listed for groceries, or if that's sufficient. Again, the point of this whole exercise, other than improvement and transformation, is also to be able to see if the journey planner will work for me or if I have to work around it because I already bought it. So 15 rows, so that means It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So about there. And then like 5 columns. So that's how much space I'll need to take up on this itty bitty A6. Because that's all I got to work with. Okay. So now the expense tracking. So this is something that I have not figured out whether or not I want to put in the weekly dashboard. Again, this is all the space I have in the weekly dashboard. So we shall see when I create that. Or do I take a page of the beginning of each week's dailies to create this spread? And if I do it that way, meaning if there's no room in my weekly dashboard to create this, then I would do that. Take one page from each of each week's dailies this year. However, next year I would be getting a Hobonichi weeks, which is what Zen Budget's lady does. She does it. She uses a Hobonichi weeks to do it. So I might use the Common Planner N2 size compact instead of the Hobonichi weeks, because I like the Common Planner, and the N2 for 2025 is actually the similar size as the Hobonichi weeks, and she has the compact, because if I'm just using that for my finance tracker, expense tracker stuff, I don't need the full year of notes on there. So I'll just get the full year compact and use that. And I would get it in the tweed color for 2025 because I think it's cute. Anywho, so let me explain this a little bit, but she goes into more detail in her video. Basically, there's a column like in the Hobonichi weeks or whatever weeks, right? The horizontal weekly, I should say, would have the dates, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, down this way, like if this was a blank thing. Then she would have a column for what is the source of where's the money coming from. That's what this column is. And so, for example, I have a Costco credit card, Chase credit card, things that I use, or is it Venmo or Zelle, or is it cash? So those are the colors, right? So that I know, and this is important because sometimes we go shopping, especially online shopping, and it'll just, subscription for Coffee Monsters Co., right? That would get charged, per quarter, but the week or whatever that I see the emails like, oh, we've renewed your subscription, that would go in here, and I would log that. And I would tell, and I would color it in, like, okay, is it coming, which credit card is that subscription linked to? And I would color that in. So that's the purpose of that column. The description, and I obviously, why I wrote this is for space purposes. So this is related to that. So this is like a key. But in actuality, the description section here would just be what store. So what's the vendor? So did I go to Target? Is it Coffee Monsters Co.? Is it Sterling Inc.? Is it Whole Foods? Is it Walmart? And then what, and the item, what did I buy? The quarterly subscription, or candy, or groceries, or whatever, right? So that goes here in this description section. And then the amount goes into the amount section. Obviously, amount is not food. So it's dollar amounts, $10, $100, whatever. But then what she does also is give it a category. So at the end of every week, what she does is she goes through her expense log, and she would, like, if it says Costco groceries, Whole Foods groceries, restaurant, like In-N-Out, then she would highlight those things with a color. I'm using this teal green, which is 243 in the Tombow, and highlight all the food stuff, right? So I would do that, or she would do that, and then add it all up. So then she would have a tally at the end of every week. How much did I spend on food? How much did I spend total on personal things like stickers? How much money or how much did I spend on Bailey, like if I bought her food or toys or whatnot. And then home and family, this is more, at least in my head, things like, oh, we paid for the governor for the gardener, the house cleaning and stuff like that would be what this is. And then daily journal prompts. So again, I mentioned this in my Plan With Me video that just aired, and Flourished Hope, that's her channel. But basically I'm planning to have these icons instead of writing it out. But the pebble, which is not a rock, but a ripple or waves, is kind of like what bothered me today. How am I responding to today? How did I respond to today? Is basically that question. What can be improved tomorrow? It may or may not be related to that. If the pebble is something quote unquote negative, I don't want to say that, but not so great, then maybe the change might be real. I might want to reflect more and see if that can be improved. But if it's a positive ripple, a positive pebble, I don't think I'd want to change it. So maybe I want to change something else. That's not necessary. It could be a change related to how I managed my time, or something related to something that didn't go well that day. That's not necessarily a pebble. Then the truth is a mantra, lessons learned, ideas to hold on to that I got that day, that grounded me that day. Prayer is what would I surrender? What can I let go and let God handle? And so I love that question, because sometimes, an example is this. It's my YouTube channel. It's my posts. And, what is it? I need to be able to just let go of the perfection, let go of thinking that, oh, nobody wants to hear me chat and ramble all the time. They don't have time for that. Or it's not nice, it's not pretty if it's not edited and it's smooth, blah, 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 or nobody's going to be interested if my journal is not aesthetically pleasing, if it's just plain, all those things, right? And the prayer would be like, I need to let that go. I need to let that go and let God handle that, and let God handle me, let Him free me to do what it is that I've been meant to do, instead of being stuck and handicapped by perfection and performance and not living, right? Like not enjoying this whole process, not as a result of performance. I was getting really drained, and it caused a lot of issues with family and relationships, because I was just hyper focused and spending all my time on this, perfecting it, and nothing else got done, and relationships got put aside. So that's not good. So surrendering this whole thing to God is a big thing for me. And then gratitude is one. What are you grateful for today? So being able to reflect on that on a daily basis, I think, is transformative. So that's really important, why I want to start doing this. and not just making things look pretty like this. You know, like what I recently did. Right? Like, I'm not reflecting. I'm not growing. It's a nice quote. It's super pretty. But am I getting anything? I'm talking about my day. Yes, it's memory keeping. But am I growing? Am I being transformed? Is there more peace in my household, in my life? No. So that's why we're going to do this right now. And not wait until September or the new year. Weekly reflections. So this week in review reflection, this is something that I've combined. So from Art and Alchemy, and then this one is from Flourish Hope. So Flourish Hope has a wheel of life. This is like a graph, kind of like a spider web. And, you know, she basically focuses on these areas like health, relationship, wealth, and growth in her channel. And then in health, subcategories is how am I doing with my mind, right? My body, with rest and with fun. And I think those are great things that I'd want to reflect on for that week as well. She gives each of these things a score from 1 to 5, right? 1 being I'm not doing so great in taking care of my mindset and mental well-being, or I'm doing pretty good with walking and exercising and eating healthy, so I'll give myself a 3.5. And I did a good job and rested, you know, consistently took naps, and like had 7 hours of sleep this week. It has been great. So maybe a 5 on rest, for example, right? Then with relationship to God, myself, the community, and to my pet Bailey. And how would I score myself this week in my relationship to my husband as a wife, to my daughter as a mom, as a daughter to my parents, as a friend, and as a sister to my twin sister? How am I doing in these areas of relationship? And then in wealth, career, and finance. So career would be, although I don't have a business. I wish this was. I would love to do this my entire life. But no, I have a full-time job, a full-time corporate job. But I think career could be that, you know, and then finance, which is this. How am I doing in those areas? Am I spending a whole bunch, or am I being cognizant and saving, all that stuff, right? And growth. So Liz in Flourish Hope, for her growth is calligraphy and speaking English and learning English. So that's growth. I don't know what I would put specifically. I think all of this what I'm doing for this channel, which is somewhat, I guess, my career, I don't know, is all growth for me, because I am learning to do this. I'm learning to just be in planning. I'm learning to just be in filming and editing. I don't even know how to do a live, y'all. I do not know how to do a live. I'm like, how do I put the camera on? How do you see my face? And then this, I just have my phone, all the things. So there's a lot to learn just related to this YouTube channel. That just doing it day to day is already growth for me. So I whited it out. I'm gonna focus on this. This is growth in and of itself. And then Art and Alchemy, she has a video. I'll link her up as well in the in the cards on the top left corner. Left, right? I don't know. But it'll be up there. So she has some review questions on a weekly basis. And so I'm thinking, going back to the wheel of life, I said roll up to monthly. So if I score myself on a weekly basis, then every month I could score myself and tally up all those scores from the month of August, for example. And then so I get, how did I do that month in these areas, right? Without starting over, I'll just add it all up and average it, or I don't know, just add it up. Average it. I guess I would have to average it because then it's a score of 1 to 5. On average, how did I do that month in these areas? And then the weekly, and she has review questions that requires more writing things out, I think more reflective. So this one is a score, so I could just graphically do it, or I'm not planning to draw a wheel and do, no, I don't have time for that. So most likely it'll be bullets and not just a list of numbers. So it ain't gonna be a pretty thing. But then she goes, so these are more like journal prompts. And in the A6 right now, it's nice that it's undated. So technically I could have a dedicated page to have like a week in review, right? In the journey planner, however, the dailies are dated. So I'm thinking, if I want to mimic that, I can't create in here a separate page just for week in review, because there's no extra pages, like 52 blank pages for every week in the journey planner. So I'm deciding that I could have in the journey planner, and maybe now like on the Saturday or Sunday page. So the journey planner has a page for every day, one whole page for Saturday, one whole page for Sunday. And since from what I've learned this year, I had to drink coffee, is I don't have a lot of activities or to-do list on Saturdays and Sundays, mainly Sundays. It's the day of rest, y'all. Shabbat. God calls us to rest. So typically I rest, have fun with people, chit-chatting, doing things that I don't normally do the rest of the week. And I hope that that's more structured. Now that I am time blocking and being more intentional, I hope I could even be more intentional with my Shabbat on Sundays. So, which I think this would meet that goal, right? Kind of reflecting on that week, being grateful for the week that just happened, and spending time planning with the Lord. So list 3 major wins. What did I accomplish? 3 things. Check in. How am I feeling? What worked this week? What things would I want to improve for next week, right? And these are, again, I said, plan with the Lord. It's for real, right? Like He wants us to spend time with Him. He cares about every aspect of our life. He wants to plan with us. He wants to commune with us and be in relationship with us. So ask, like, God, I think this is working well this week. Anything else from your end that you think I need to work on? And just sit there and listen. Things I want to improve for next week. There's probably obvious ones, but let's say it's like, I think it's great. Well, I would want to improve anything, maybe. But if we sit there and just like, anything I missed that I'm not aware of that you want to show me, and reflect and spend time with Him. So things I want to improve next week. Highlight. I just put height. This is how sleepy I was. It's supposed to be highlight of the week instead of height. I don't even spell height right. Of the week, and that's fun. So what fun things happened that week? And at least that's how I interpret highlight of the week. And then how consistent were you this week? Score it from 1 to 5, right? So that will happen on on a Saturday and or Sunday dailies in the journey planner as well as this A6. I need to breathe. Then the roll up. So this is a roll up of that. This is also a monthly review reflection. And we're going to do this in the monthly cover page. Again, in the Sterling ink, because it's undated, we could create a monthly cover page, which would look like, in my planner. My July. Oh, I'll do my August cover page because I like my August cover page. This one. So instead of doing this, which is super cute, we could do a version of this where there's still room to do a reflection, because in the journey planner, each month actually has a cover page. Like it just says, let's say August and then blank, and then August 1st would start on there already pre-printed. Again, it's like the Hobonichi where it's dated. So my thought is to practice by doing the same thing and having it in my daily pages in the A6 like this, but instead of filling it up like this, we would actually use it and write things in it, which includes these things. So at the end of the month, I would go to that page, the cover page, and reflect and write it out. So like, what am I grateful for? What worked? What didn't? How do you want to improve next month? List the highlights and accomplishments. So for me, I'm thinking, I don't want to think of all the things that happened this whole month from scratch. No. Those type of reflection questions make me run, and I ain't got time for that. So what I'm going to do is review my weekly reflections and pick the top one of each week, which is nice because, to be honest, like I don't take the time to go through and flip through my entries, right? I don't take the time to look at that and reflect on that and be like, oh, this is what I wrote this month or this week and blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's a nice... No. I have not. Partly because I flip through it for aesthetics. Oh, that looks pretty. Oh, I like this spread and blah, 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 right? But am I growing from it? No. I don't read all of that. So I think which is sad, but I think if I'm getting into the habit of reflecting and journaling and growing intentionally, and I do this forces me to review without it being a performance, without it being a stressful thing. I could review my weekly reflections and pick it out, and I'd be like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, right? I agree, that was a really great accomplishment that I felt good about, or that was really fun, I loved doing the thing that week. So listing that. And then what did you spend the most time on? That is a questionable thing. It might not be an accurate thing because I'm not tracking my time spent on things, and I don't think I'd be correcting. Let's say if I put, I'm going to spend, 2 hours in the time block for recording, and then I spent 3 hours instead. I'm not going to fix that, no. I just plan on it, and then I'll learn from it. But I don't know. I think this could be just an overall based on the habit tracker, I guess. I could see. So here, I spent the most time on my YouTube channel. Very imbalanced. Maybe I could use that to reflect on this and get a gauge on my priorities. And then things to start and stop and continue. So again, like, okay, I definitely want to stop doing things aesthetically. I probably want to continue having an alarm for time blocking and so that I stop, because that's been working really well. And for me, it's like that's actually something that I'm starting, like this. Like I'm starting to do this. I need to start to do this moving forward. So that's the reflective part. Anywho, that is all for this Chatty video. And stay tuned because we are going to actually do our weekly plan with me in the next video for this week. I'm going to start that and we shall brainstorm what this dashboard's gonna look like this week. 'Cause I don't know. But I'm excited to start it. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this chat. I hope that you don't mind if I continue to do real-time plan with me's where I just ramble and it's not all polished and pretty and edited and quick, but just pouring out my heart. I think with doing things this way, I hope that I could actually show up more and post more, because I could just post as soon as I'm done sharing, you know? Anyway, would appreciate your feedback in the comments. And if you find this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Bye.